In the Connect 4 project that we developed in our class, the game always starts with the player making the first move. So notice when the game starts, the board is completely empty. I, as a player, play the first move, the red coin, and then the computer responds. But we can change this. We can have a notion of a toss. Quite interesting to do, in fact. All we need to do is to get to a program. Remember the player plays with this function play, and the computer plays with this function called play C. Now, in our game, we are setting turn to 1, and then, basically, we are saying screen dot on click play, which means that when we click the screen, the player ends up playing. But let's say we wanted to introduce a notion of a toss. So what I can do is to say that, look, let me say if random dot random is say greater than 0.5. Now, what this does really is that it generates a random number between 0 and 1, and if that happens to be more than 0.5, then I can say, well, turn is equal to 1 and everything remains exactly as it is. But I can just put a print over here saying that, look, player makes the first move. On the other hand, if this is not the case, I can say turn is equal to 2, uh, and I can say print, for example, computer makes the first move. And all I need to do really is to just call play C at this point. And really, that's all we need to do. Now, of course, what this means right now is that in my game, 50% of times, player will get to make the first move. 50% time, computer will make the first move. But in fact, we can make this slightly more interesting, let's say, by adding a toss. So, when the game starts, I first do a toss in whichever way. So this is also kind of like a toss, but we can have some other way of doing a toss, which is hopefully a fair toss. So 50% chance either way. And we expect the game to be starting either from the computer or from the player. And really everything else should remain exactly the same. When I now run this, the first time that I ran this, it says player makes the first move, and indeed that is the case. Everything moves exactly as it used to be. But I ran it a few more times. Notice few more times it was a player, but this time now it is the computer making the first move. The game starts and computer has already put a coin over here. It looks really fast, but really the computer has played this coin. And now I can continue from here. In fact, the game is going to continue just like usual. So in fact, I can do this like I won. But notice the computer played first. Now this could be a nice enhancement to your project. Our curriculum is completely open, available at www.ybyte.in. We have a firm belief that a very, very effective way to learn programming is to build activities the way we do. Build them first, then think about how we can enhance them, and that's exactly what we are doing here. Look at our website www.ybyte.in because we learn Python programming through such fun activities. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye bye.